All right, guys, we've got a couple of SOG knives to talk about today. Really, we're going to talk about just one. I recently did the video on the Flash II, and today I'm going to talk about the Flare. And they're basically the same size, so I'm not going to go through all of the dimensions and the specs and all of that stuff. I'll put a link to the video I did on this one down below so you can go check that out if you're so inclined. Again, this is a budget knife. This was sent in from Alex over at Alex's Knives and Such. And it's a cool budget, $50-ish knife. I don't think these are really available. I didn't find any for sale when I did a quick look online. And these are assisted openings. And I talked about that in detail in the first video for the new folks. If you're not familiar with an assisted opening knife, it's not an automatic. It's assisted opening, which may or may not be legal in your area, depending on where you live. Some areas it might be legal, others it might not. So this has a kind of dusty clip point blade on it, satin finish, the plastic GRN or whatever they call it, scales, and a crazy deep, extra deep carry pocket clip, which I don't see the need for, but whatever. I'm not a knife designer. I'm just a knife collector and enthusiast and knucklehead that talks about them on YouTube. So it's a cool knife. I do like it. It does have a lock here, just like on the Flash II. So that locks the blade closed. However, it does not lock the blade open. So you pull back on this sort of access style type lock to release it, and away you go. I think it's cool. It's, again, $50-ish knife if you can find them. Locks up pretty solid. There's a little bit of blade play, but it's a $50 knife. So let's do a couple of quick size comparisons. Again, this is going to be a short video just to kind of go through and give you some options and ideas of what's out there on the secondary market, right? Because this is, kind of a discontinued model, so you won't be able to find one new probably. But here's next to the Sharpie and a number 2 pencil. Another couple of normal objects, the D cell battery and AA battery. How about a AAA battery flashlight from Olight in Timascus? Spyderco Delica. Koenig Eris. Kind of similar size, actually. And how about the Hellraiser Automatic? Since we're talking about spring assisted type knives, this is an automatic knife. This is a spring assisted. So, and how about the custom Hellraiser, just because it happens to be right here on the table. Now, the thing about budget knives, what I like about them, and I've talked about this before, and here I'll give you a look at my favorite budget knife as of right now. The Kubi KB237, $48. So basically very similar price range. Assisted opening, just a manual flipper. D2 steel. This has AUS 8, I believe it is. So I think this is an upgrade from that one. I'm going to kind of glance back at my notes here from the Flash. And yeah, it is AUS 8. So, I think the D2 is an upgrade. The great thing about budget knives, for me anyway, is you can have one thrown in your truck, thrown in your car, thrown in the trunk of your car, whatever, in case you ever need a second knife. Or, God forbid, you walk out of the house without a knife. Okay, it might have happened once before to me. But I had a backup knife in the car. So I think they're great for that. And when I'm going to an event, concert, or some sort of gathering like that, not that that's happened a lot during the COVID world, but you know, when you're going to a sporting event and things like that, you know, you're going to be walking through metal detectors and they're going to be doing some serious screening and things like that, Disneyland and all that, right? I'm not talking about those areas. Those areas you just don't necessarily carry a knife. Although at Disneyland, never mind. That's a different story. I've taken some stuff in Disneyland, but we're not going to go there. That was many, many years ago. So if I'm going to like a place where I'm not sure, maybe they're going to do screening, maybe they're not, that's where I use my budget knives, because I would rather just give this up at screening than maybe a, $1,000, $2,000 knife, or even, an $800-ish Arius. I wouldn't want to give this up at screening, right? Maybe something like this, couple $300, maybe that's okay in my price range, but not really. I'll take the $50, $60 knife. If it gets taken, it gets taken, and I move on and I go to Amazon and I order another one tomorrow. So I think budget knives absolutely, got to clean my mat there, absolutely have a place in your collection, regardless of what you're collecting. Even if you're in the $1,000 and up is what you normally are carrying and collecting, I think there's absolutely room for the $50, $60, $70 budget knives to have for occasions like the sporting events, the concerts, the areas that are kind of gray areas on whether or not you're allowed to take a knife, so to speak. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on budget knives down below, because I would love to hear that. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you tomorrow.